get started. So some of the things I'm gonna want you guys to always have your image up. So you guys have huge screens, so you can pull this over to the side and then make a ZBrush a little bit smaller. Don't always look at your phones, which are good, but you want to make sure you have maybe even a secondary screen if you have at home, put it off to the side. You always want to have your reference and be able to look at it. So some of the things we're going to start working on is this setting up some lines. Once we start sculpting, these images going to kind of fade away. So it's best to get these hard sculpted lines in, and then we'll start doing clay buildup to add some geometry. We've got these creases in here and creases here and also here. So we want to really kind of emphasize that. We're probably going to go a little bit above and beyond on that to create these creases and so forth. All right, so we do have a lot of highlights. I have a darkness over here versus the even light. So this is going to create some issues once we go to the Substance Painter, but we'll try to layer it up so it looks more natural than what we have here, this light and dark of the face. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll jump into ZBrush. You can see the face is totally different looking than our character. So we're going to go ahead. He is awfully thick. He has a lot of hair, kind of protruding up, but definitely did not get the proportions on him correct. We can go back and look at this. They're definitely off. So you would definitely, if this was your final model, you would spend some time in either Maya or in ZBrush here and using the Move tool and working on proportions. All right. So let's just keep going. We're just going to learn how to kind of use our sculpting tool. So we're going to go out of RGB. We're going to go to Z add. And right now we have a huge brush, so we do not want that. So we're going to go down to maybe 8. And we're going to use, start learning how to use our pull in so we can get up close. And you can start to see right there, I just did a sculpt, and that's going to be pulling this out. And we don't want that. We want to go back in time. We want to start pushing in. All right, so let's look at our tools. Let's pull over here. And so we have this as standard tool, and we can, for this, we want to kind of push in. So to push in, I think we hit Control. Let's hit Control. Nope. Let's Apple Z that. Let's Command. No. Okay, Option. Let's see if that does it. All right, so let's pull it over to the side. All right, and you can start to see that's pushing it in. So Option is our tool that we want to use. And the only reason I kind of did that is this, sometimes you just have to go through all the buttons. So it is Option to kind of push it in. All right, so I hit Shift, and I do have my symmetry tool on. I'm going to Apple Z that. I'm not really happy with that line that I made. All right, and I was using my mouse. I wasn't even using my stylus. So we're going to go down, draw size a little bit smaller. Okay, and we're going to start working on just some lines and so forth. All right, so again, Option. We're just going to start making these lines. These are just going to help us with where things are. All right. And the harder you push, the more these things are. Now you can see the line here did not line up. So we're just going to kind of fake our line here, fake a line here, and we're going to just start sculpting this. All right. So we also have a kind of a line here, and I'm pushing. The harder you push, you notice that it will go deeper. All right. So this is really key why we have our tablet. So you should not be using a mouse with this whatsoever. All right, so a little bit of line here. I'm holding my Option, and I'm just going to start digging in here. All right. Don't have to watch. You can start just doing this on your own. All right. All right. And now I'm using without Option, just start pulling up this texture. All right, and same with here. We're going to see is pretty pulled in because this was with the symmetry on. And so we're going to hit option and we're going to start making our creases. All right. So these are just little baby creases so we can start to build up. All right. And don't be afraid, we can always hit shift and undo these. All right, so we're just creating these shapes here. Oops. I've gone way too far. I don't know why it's going here. All right, let's go back. All right. So I just went back. Something went really wrong there. All right, start to see different shapes on the face now. All right. So I go here on my crease right here, hit option, and we're pulling that in. All right. So really quickly, we just want to start adding lines everywhere really quickly before we start losing resolution. All right. So we have kind of the Frau line here. Okay. I've got to look at our images too, and a lot of this is artistic license too. So I hit moved. All right, got this pretty good. All right, and it's got a little bit of a crease here. I'm holding down my option, I'm just pushing in so we have some data to start working on. All right, that does option. All right, and again, get used to pushing and pulling. All right, here we have a lot of stuff coming in. I'm going to go ahead, push that in as a marker. Like that. This is our bottom of our lip. All right, let's look at our ear really quickly. And I think there was some stuff we can pull in here. You're just kind of marking it, making some lines. And now I'm doing the option. I'm actually pushing and pulling here. All right. Really don't have a lot of information on our neck, so we're just gonna fake that. We can go up on our brush size. I'm using my mouse to go up on my brush size. All right. And we've got this right here. So I'm just gonna go in here. Add that. And it's got Applesy. Be careful. It's got a little bit of an Adam's apple right here, so I'm gonna pull this out. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna start using the clay buildup. All right. So you may want to save that. You can start to see what that is starting to look like. So we can zoom in here. Zoom in again. I'm going over here. There's also hotkeys for this, but I want you to learn how to do this with either your stylus or your mouse. All right, so you can start to see here a little bit of the face build up here. So we want to make sure these are like really big and bold. So we're going to go over to our brush, and we're going to go clay buildup. And we have a huge brush. We don't want that. That was for our Adam's apple. We're going to go down to like a 6. And we're going to go ahead and start building up these crevices. All right, so we're going to start building up this. Now you want that crease there. So that was your build up. All right, so I'm just kind of building up this kind of membrane, and then holding shift, I'm going to smooth it out. All right, so just continue on, use your rotate. All right, it's going to look awful, but we're going to smooth it out. We're just using this as some buildup of lines. All right. The harder you push on your stylus, the better. So just keep building this up. probably go up on the brush size around the eye socket. Alright, we're going to hold shift, smooth it out, smooth this out. Alright, you can start to see that pinching. We could also use our pinching tool. Alright, start to see what our face is starting to look like. Alright, it's going to look really creepy, but you really want to try to build this texture up. Alright, I'm going to go back to my clay buildup. I'm going to go down on my size. Alright, this is really where I want to build it up, this surface on this area. Alright, I'm just using the additive Z add. I'm not holding my option key anymore. Again, we're trying to make the skin come out here. Alright, so we'll go out with our brush size here. And we want to make a little bit of a brow line. Alright. Alright, then I'm going to hit my shift and smooth it out. Again, we're going to lose our image. Alright, just smoothing it out here. Alright, looking pretty good. Okay, starting to see everything kind of coming together a bit here. Hit shift, kind of soften that up. Oops. Again, make sure you don't click on here, you'll start sculpting by accident. Alright, so you can start to see how bad this is. So you need to start building out. Doesn't look like he has acne scars, but you want to build this out. So I've got a jawline. Alright, using my shift, we can use bigger tools. And just holding my shift. Definitely want a bigger draw size. You can hit S too if you want. Alright, so it's building it out, pushing it in. Alright. You guys go ahead and keep going. You don't have to watch this. I'm going to start just using my pinch tools and keep pulling around, making all these little textures and so forth. Alright, and keep looking at your character. He has a lot of detail here. You probably start looking at that and give you some ideas on what to do. I want to stop it here. I want to come back and start doing pinching and get a little bit more dramatic with the lines up here. Okay, it's going to get more and more interesting as we move along.